boys and girls. Hi guys, what's up? We're back again. Still live on the Spinning Talent Pool as a live stream, and also here in the club air with a big audience for our next seminar, Q&A section. My name is Yuki. You might know me as the voice of Crisscross Amsterdam. And today we'll be hosting a new concept of spinning records called the Spinnin Academy. With the idea that there are a lot of youngsters who want to become DJ, producer, but also not youngsters. It doesn't matter, age doesn't matter, sorry. But a lot of people who want to become a DJ or producer, and we've seen the produced workshops and we read the stories, but we also want to give a little insight in what DJing and producing does to you as a person, as a human being, where you have to, what you have to do to become a big DJ or a producer. We just had a seminar with Sam Veld about the live show you can for your performance of your live show. Right now, I'm gonna ask for the two guys who've all been waiting for right now. They started out in 2010, but not the two of them, I think, only you. And then in 2012, they teamed up, and they go by the name of Blasterjaxx. Please give them a warm hand, Tom and Idir. Have a seat, guys.
Check, check.
Yes, check.
Yep.
Yeah, it's worked. All right. So, guys, what's up? How's your ADE so far? Not very long, but how's it going?
Yeah, so far it's going pretty well. You know, it's the first day for us for the whole ADE week, which means a lot of appointments, a lot of meetings, press, you know, parties, of course, and I think a big lack of sleep.
Yeah, a big lack of sleep. Yeah. So, can you give me a little insight in your program for the ADE? What's on the...
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, right after this, we got press for a couple of hours. Tonight, we have our very own Maximize Records label night at the Bitterzoet for all the people who have no plans for tonight.
Where is it?
Bitterzoet.
Oh, Bitterzoet, yeah. Bittersweet.
Bittersweet, yeah, indeed. And then for tomorrow, I think we have like 3 radio shows or something. Honestly, I have to look it up because it's really packed, and we have a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the thing with ADE. It's crazy, right? Idir, nice to see you, man. What's up? How's it going?
Perfect.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
A lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, well, I'm making a lot of music.
Yes, is it singing?
Well, I'm making a lot of music nowadays and taking it slowly.
Yeah. You disappeared off stage like 2 years ago, I think. Was it 2015, right?
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2015. So we have some questions for you as well, because we don't see you as often as your coworker. But it's going good. I think you have your own label night tonight. That's going to be exciting, I think. This section is going to be a Q&A section, which means you all have the opportunity to ask these guys everything you would like to know. In Dutch we say, vraag ze het hemd van het lijf. Well, we're going to start out with a small collection of questions which you have sent to their social medias. Some of you are here today, so I would like to start, got to start up my iPad right now. I would like to start with checking out if Geoffrey Switz is here in the room. Geoffrey, you here? Geoffrey not here? We like to see Marnix. Marnix Neerbos, are you present? There we go. All right, I'm gonna take this one and go to Marnix, and you can switch it between you.
Okay.
Yo, Marnix, what's up? I'm fine.
How do you make your drops so full and energetic?
How do we make drops full and energetic?
Yes.
Well, actually,
Yeah, it's hard, huh?
No,
Wh-
it's
what-
not. No, it's not hard. But I mean, it's like a
Yeah.
secret, you know.
It's not a formula
It's a
for
secret.
it.
No,
First of all, which program do you produce?
Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops. So, do you have some maybe tips for drop making in Fruity Loops?
Well, yeah, not only for Fruity Loops, of course, for every program you can use for this. The way how we work for our drops, and to answer your question, why it's so energetic. What we try to do is making sure that when it drops, it has like a kind of a groove still in there. Many of our tracks have a groove, so even if the melody is not super static, like the groove already is strong enough and gives that energetic kind of feeling your question is about. So that's what we do, and about like how you get like your sound full and wide. That has to come everything with layering, with EQing, compressing, and you know, right now it's there are a lot of different ways to get there, but just find your own way, and that's all we can give as a good advice for this.
Okay, that's fine. It's also a good bridge to a question of Janet. She asked over social media, do you have regular plugins you use which are really working for you in your productions?
Oh yeah, we have. We use Nexus a lot.
Yeah?
Let's see, we use Silent One. We use Contact for Spire. Kickstart from Nicky Romero.
Yeah, that's a popular one, huh?
Sashi Svetner. Endless Smile. Valhalla. Room.
Oh, that's a lot. All right, cool.
Isotope. Ozone.
And what is how do you divide the task when music producing? Are you both into, for example, is one of you making the drops, or is one of you writing, of what is how do you define that? What's your process?
Well, basically we do everything together, you know. He has
Yeah.
ideas, I have ideas. I'm the one behind the computer,
Yeah.
basically. I'll put everything in, I make melodies and stuff. He comes up with great ideas for the drops and everything, and I think they'll combine.
Is that something you would advise the new producers, to find someone you can,
Well, you don't really have to work with someone, especially, but it's really nice to some days to have someone sitting next to you in the studio, you know, so you have like different ideas on something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and in particular, it's really fun to find someone who can really challenge yourself as well.
Exactly,
You know, if
yeah.
you find somebody who is equally skilled when it comes to producing or when it comes to IDs, that you can do it by yourself also. But when you find someone who has something extra you don't have, and the other person, you can fill each other up. You know,
Yeah.
like the symbiosis is like that's really working well for us, and it's really great because. Sometimes in the past, when we had like a few drafts or whatever we made ourselves, it was not the same result as when we are really starting from scratch to something new. That's most of the time that works out the best, because most of our tunes got made in the good tunes got made in 1 or 2 days. And we are still really in that flow, and I think that works really well.
Okay, cool. That's nice. So I got a question for you, Idir, from Emodic. How did you begin as a pianist? Because there's this guy thinks you're truly one of a kind pianist with your music.
Well, basically, my parents said to me that I have to do something with music.
Yeah,
and also because I come from a background with a lot of music. And, well, when I was 10 years old, they put me on piano lessons. And I learned stuff from the book, like reading notes and everything. It was really boring. So I did that for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, I want to play like commercial things, things I really want to hear, So from then, I just watched YouTube videos, tutorials to go on with that.
All right. What was the age you started playing the piano?
I was 10.
10. So that's a lot of practice, man.
Yeah.
Do you advise people who want to be a producer or even a DJ to learn to play an instrument?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
why?
actually, playing the piano, well, you don't really have to learn playing piano perfectly, but I mean, like, just putting in chords on the piano really help you with your producing skills, because you can handle way easier, faster in your production,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I see guys like for example, the biggest Martijn. He's always drawing it in, but you think it's easier to play it.
way easier.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, we switch up to Sam Mellis. How do you guys adapt your sound and which somehow makes a unique song for you? How do you can you define yourself from other DJs? What is your unique sound and how do you get there?
First of all, it's a really tough question, of course, because that basically is the foundation for what we call the signature sound of Blasterjaxx.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how to check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe it the best. The thing is, like, for us, this is the kind of music that feels good and really comes from our heart, you know, without sounding really cheesy. So, like, to adapt and to have our own signature sound, I don't know. I cannot. There's no way of explaining that, I think.
And do you also, I think, over time your signature sound can change? So how do you look at trends? Is it like a feeling within, or are you listening to other music, getting inspiration, maybe take something from that, maybe take something from that? What's your advice on that?
Yeah, well, we listen to a lot of other music, and especially since, you know, over the years when you hear so much EDM, big room and house everywhere around you, you cannot enjoy it yourself as much anymore as before. So for us, we listen to a lot of different genres. EDers are a big fan of reggae, you know, like
Yeah, sure.
really chill music.
Yeah.
But we also love rock, you know, hardstyle, hardcore music, everything basically. We have no limits when it comes to that. There was something else I wanted to add to it, but I just forgot.
Well, the thing is, we can change our style a little bit, but I mean, at the end, we still have our own sound, you know, like it's still coming from us. So you always keep your own signature on it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and even before we did big room and EDM kind of sounds, we started with Latin house. Some of you might know Latin house, Dutch house. And when we listen back to tunes from ourselves from, what is it, like 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, we still find that Blasterjaxx signature in there. And
Even if it's a completely different genre.
it's completely different genre.
Yeah.
For the recent track Temple we released, we used an old melody from 8 years ago, and I think that's the way I told you, like, you cannot explain what your signature is, but it has been in there since the beginning, and yeah, I don't know, it's something magical.
Cool, cool. Really cool video clip also in the clip Temple. That that Prince of Persia kind of feel. I love it. Is Julius in the room? You up there? I saw you send in 2, 3 questions, man. So we're gonna move up there and you can ask him.
Nou, hebben jullie eigenlijk ooit wel eens geen inspiratie? Want daar heb ik soms heel erg veel last van.
I will translate it. Yeah. Do you ever have no inspiration at all? That you're like stuck?
Of course, I think everybody has that, because inspiration, you can't really like force your inspiration to come out. But at the end, it's really important to keep trying every day over again, you know, like you cannot really wake up and be like, today I'm gonna make this, because it's not working like that, you know. I mean, it has to be there, you know. You can't.
Yeah. But you can get, and I think you can get inspiration from everything, from the sounds you hear, from the walks you make. Do you have the same kind of feeling? If you're not inspiration full, you can go out there and get some.
Well, not really. It's more or less like a flow when you're in, you know, like
Okay.
you feel inspirational, and sometimes, like, you know, it goes by itself really easy, and other times we are stuck sometimes for a few days on one small piece of something, and then later we listen back and it's like really awful. But what works really great for us, what we have noticed over the years, is if you have no inspiration, just find something, a track you really like, and try to get as close as much to the track by producing it yourself. And halfway going there, you know, you will probably fail making that same kind of thing.
Yeah.
What works for us too. But then you automatically go to a different direction, and that leads you to something completely different. But you had like a kind of a kickstart for yourself.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next one.
Hoe maken jullie een goede remix waarbij de originele track hoorbaar blijft?
That's, I think, something everybody wants to know. How to make a good remix of an original.
Well, basically, it's pretty easy. We just use the vocals on the track. We're not gonna remix a track that has no vocals, because I think that's really, like, it's not possible to make a good remix out of that. But with vocals, of course, we use the vocals. We make our own signature sound on it, and that works.
Yeah, that's so. Next one.
Hoe combineerden jullie school met produceren?
Sorry. What?
Yeah, okay, this is a good one. Yeah, so before we dropped out of college, it's not advice by the way, but you know, I had like a student dorm nearby school, and Adir back then he lived in the same apartment as where I lived. We had like 20 square feet or square meters to live in together, and we built like some sort of small studio in there. I remember Adir had a lot of internships, so he didn't go there. Again, it's not advice, but he skipped a lot of school to work while I had like my college lessons, and in between, because I was living so close to my school, we can go back and keep working on music all the time. We keep working like after school, after college, we went to the gym, and after we kept working again until the next morning, and that's basically how it works. And at a certain point where our productions were good enough, and we came, you know, to a point where we had a lot of shows, we got like tours upcoming. There we had to make a decision what to do, because we cannot combine our school and music any longer. So we had some talks with the dean school, and yeah, more or less even they advised us to drop school, because right now you get like a chance, 1 out of a million, and
Yeah.
I think we are really happy with the decision we made back then.
Yeah, sure. And I think back then, when you guys were just starting out, there wasn't really a school for music. There was the conservatorium, and there is like the sound engineer school, but there wasn't like today. You have music production, you can study it, but back then there wasn't anything. So
No, and before that, because when we started making music, that's way more back, and there wasn't even YouTube back then, so
Oh, yeah.
no tutorials how to make presets. You like downloading samples. You had one sample pack, the Deadmau5 sample pack. That one was used for 10 years, I think, by every single DJ out there. You know, people cut out like the kicks from certain tracks, and they were sharing everything. They were sharing together with other DJs. So that's the way how we had to start with it.
yeah, cool. If I can quote Ed Sheeran, he's like, if you want to become a surgeon or a doctor, you have to go to school, but if you want to do something creative, you just have to do it a lot. It's like almost a 10,000 hour rule. If you might know it, if you do something for 10,000 hours, you become a master in it, and I think that's what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't make yourself feel like it's a pressure to deliver. No, it has to stay fun, and it has to stay like something that relaxes you as well. Otherwise, you only get frustrated by the fact that you're not achieving the goals you want to reach.
All right. Thank you. Federico Bell, are you in here? Well, I'm going to ask Federico's last question for you. It's the last question about music producing. What is the first thing you start when you are making a track?
Depends. Sometimes I just go on the piano and play some melodies, try something out. If I have something good, then I'll put it in Fruity Loops. Sometimes I just start with Fruity Loops, looking for an original sound coming from Nexus or something, or creating one. And sometimes we start with the drop.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
So there isn't any
No.
formula for working on the music production?
Not really, no.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna we're gonna switch to the next subject, which is gonna be a little bit more about you, Idir, because we've missed you on the stage. But there's a lot of people ask questions about you not being on stage. So you can get the chance to answer them right now. Is Tom Willemsen in the building? There we go.
Hoe gaat het met Idir nu hij niet meer meegaat met toeren?
Yo, Idir, what's up?
That's a good.
How are you been doing when you're not touring? How has it been?
Well, actually, the beginning was pretty tough, you know, because I was changing. Basically, I changed my life, you know. I changed everything I did, from touring every day, going back home, doing sports, sitting in the studio all day. So it was a big difference, and also for the fans around us, because they're used to us seeing perform both. So yeah, it was different.
Yeah, the first thing, what was the first thing you missed on being on stage?
Nothing.
Nothing. So maybe you can
No,
tell.
I missed the show.
Yeah, but maybe you can tell something about the reason why you stopped touring.
Okay, that deep.
Yeah, that is sure. It's a decision, man.
Well, at the beginning, it was like it was fun to tour. You know, it was new. Everything was new. The flights are new. Seeing every country was new. The shows were fun. Everything was fun, and it was really nice. The first 2 years.
Yeah.
But after a certain point, like after you saw the countries already, you've been there, and you just go there because you have to do your job.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be fun anymore, and also because it was not my thing to fly that much, to not sleep that much, and everything. It really gave me a bad feeling, and it really made my health go down. You know, so at a certain point, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. So.
Yeah, that's
And I
good.
got-
You listened to your body, and your body was like, "No, man, that's not for you."
Yeah.
The touring part, but then again, you stay together, and Tom is touring himself right now, and you're doing all the studio-related stuff. Can you maybe tell something about how it is now that you have to do it, the touring on your own?
Well, yeah. Well, I still miss him, you know, every day on tour. That's that will never change. No, that will never change because like we started this together, and it's like it has been one big roller coaster since the very beginning. It's really yeah. It was really intense as well. What Edie already said, like there is like so much lack of sleep. Like you're having a hotel room, a different hotel room, so basically a different house every night. You have like. Flights every day. I think like we have 1 year we had over 280 flights in 1 year. So can you imagine how many of those flights or how many nights you basically spent in an airplane, you know, sleeping there. So yeah, it really breaks you down, both physical as mental. And yeah, for Edir, like at a certain point, it was too much for him. And I think it's a really great decision and a really brave decision as well that he stepped back from the stage. Yeah, for me at that point, that meant that I had to like redevelop ourselves because I didn't want to lose the energetic feeling and the energy we brought on stage. So yeah, that was tough. And I remember in the very beginning, because it was definitely not easy, but I made a lot of notes. I was checking back all our live sets on YouTube. I was listening back all our live sets on SoundCloud and anywhere, and I was making notes like, okay, how can I also fill up like Idir's part here behind the decks? So yeah, in the very beginning, it was definitely strange. The first few months were completely, I wasn't that comfortable on stage as well. But you know, I had to do the job, so
Almost start over as a
absolutely. But yeah, right now we are both on a place where we feel, I think, for now the most happy at.
Yeah.
And yeah, he made a really good decision for himself because
Exactly.
who knows what would have happened when he didn't step back.
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing to highlight that you know, a lot of especially young guys and young girls are dreaming of becoming a DJ, are dreaming of the lifestyle, of the traveling, of the hotels, of the parties with a lot of demanding audiences. And I think it's really important to that Idir is now made the decision that he just, you know, be on the other side of the stage. That it's not always gonna be, you know, the things you dream of, and there's definitely a different side of being a DJ, which is not only the fame and the fortune, but it's also really tough.
Yeah, absolutely, and nobody could ever prepare us for what it is to be at a certain level of in your career. And honestly, there is so much more going on the backside of an artist that what you can ever think about. It's really crazy. I think what you see from an artist is only 10%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What you see on stage is 10%. Cool. Do we have Nando Houtje over here? Yes.
Hallo jongens, dat waren eigenlijk mijn vragen, maar dat maakt niet uit. Dat moment dat jullie bepaalden om uit elkaar te gaan, welke emoties kwamen daar mee naar boven?
The question was, which emotions came up when you decided or took the decision to to separate the live act?
well, let's say it didn't happen overnight. You know, it took like 1.5 years for me to really get to this point. You know, where I had to stop, and I mean, like 1.5 year before that, I was already thinking like, I really need to stop, but it.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Yeah, because you were always on stage and you get used to the adrenaline, but then it starts to work against you, I think.
Absolutely, I think I can fill in here a gap what Idir tries to say. Like, because of the loyalty you have
Yeah.
towards each other. Like, you
Yeah.
stepped into this adventure together, and to take a step back, that's well, I think we can say that was not an easy decision. Absolutely not, and that's why it took a really long time for Idir to really make that step. And
Yeah.
of course, I already felt it coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, but still, you know, at the moment where you really release. Release to the press and make an official statement about it. Yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah.
I had to take a few vodkas for that.
Yeah. And did it also test your friendship in a way?
Yeah, but I think it only made it stronger because, you know, live and let live. And with Idir's decision, like what I already mentioned, like, it's really brave to do that. And yeah, of course, you know, it's different because you don't see each other every day anymore. But you know, a friendship is a friendship.
Yeah, that's good. So, Idir, a question from Sonia Verete. What is the best moment you recall on being on stage? The things you always still tell your family, friends, or maybe at a bar, which was an amazing moment for you on stage.
Oh, that's actually funny because when you're on stage, you're not really there, you know. Most of the time I'm like in a dream, you know. It's not true. Like you'll be on stage, you see all these people, all these like hats, and you'll be like, yeah, I mean, and then you'll be like, is this real? I don't know if this is real, but there was one point, there was in Tomorrowland, Brazil.
Yeah.
And we had a song with a really relaxing break, and we said to turn on the lights from your phone, from the whole crowd, and at that point, like 50,000 lights went up, and
that's crazy.
That was was crazy. Moment.
Like the Dutch say, kippenvel.
Kippenvel.
Goosebumps. Yeah. Alright, let me see if we got. Hebben we nog even een vraag van hier, gewoon als je het niet hebt ingestuurd, die je graag zou willen stellen? Do you have questions from the audience which didn't send some in? You can. This is your chance.
Hoe regelen jullie zeg maar de samenwerking met zangers bijvoorbeeld of producers?
Oh yeah, how do you get to the collabs with singers or other producers?
Well, it depends. You know, when it comes to collabs with other producers and other DJs, we arrange it ourselves. Most of the time, it's guys we met, you know, throughout the travel and throughout the whole adventure. Like W&W and Hartwell, you know, like when you see each other and when you meet each other, like you'd be like, yo, maybe it's cool to do something together. So with all the guys we have done collaborations with that came from one of our sites. When it comes to singers, like we have a publisher for that, and they kind of like harvest different kind of acapellas, different like riffs sometimes, some chords, acapellas, like different kind of stuff that might be useful to use in a production. That's how it works. And sometimes with some singers, because we already worked with them over the years, like for example Jonathan Mendelsohn, we just hit him up, you know, like send him a message, send him an email, and it's arranged. It's really easy once you're in there.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Benjamin Viscar, you here? There we go.
Hey guys, I wanted to know, like, what is your feeling when you see everyone in your life, like everybody jumping hard on every single drop?
Yeah, well, in the beginning it was really cool, and it's still cool. Don't get me wrong, but after a while, what Idir already said, when you're on stage, you're in some sort of bubble, and like you're playing, and you know, on stage we see 4 decks, we see 1 mixer, we see a stage, and sometimes, but hopefully not, some dancers on the side. You know, you see a crowd,
And more or less that's what you see every time again, and sometimes every day again, sometimes 3 times a day again. And I won't say it gets boring, but you get used to it. And unless you play a new song that's completely insane and everybody goes nuts, that's an amazing feeling. But yeah, overall it's cool, but it's not that special anymore.
I have to add that it's special to me. No, I mean I don't tour anymore. You know, like from back then, okay, it was getting, you get used to it, but now I'm not on tour anymore. But every time I see him playing a new song, I'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, are you? Is it a different kind of excitement that you're, you know, he's playing the song you made together, and then you're excited for the reaction of the audience? And are you, you know, a little nervous for that as well?
Nah, I'm not nervous.
No, because he's like, I'm in this bubble, I'm playing, I don't know if they're jumping, or, and you are at home watching the reaction of the crowd, and you're like, yeah, I made that shit, and you're like, oh, there we go, and
yeah. No, well, basically I'm more hyped about it than Tom. I think I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know, but
because of the bubble on stage.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, all right.
Yeah, and also the fact that, you know, when you're playing the song, we have heard the song so many times already. So, like, without being rude, but sometimes you cannot hear your own songs anymore. It's sometimes almost horrible to play your own stuff. Sorry.
I understand. I completely understand what you're saying. It's just, you've been into the process of making the song, you've heard it back thousands of times.
Plus, by the time that like a track's completely finished, we already did a few test spins of the songs, and then in there, you know, I have to pay attention to the song, be like, okay, what does it still miss, or you know, how is the mix down, stuff like that. So by the time the song is really finished,
yeah. Can you describe a little bit how, for Rodri Silva, how the song Snake came about? Because he's really, really enthusiastic about that one.
I know one thing for sure. The only thing we were had on was like our underwear, because it was an insane hot day, and we worked in a studio which it was, I think, 45 degrees inside the studio. It was completely surrounded by foam, and that was the basic foundation for, I think, the Snake sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So that's where you get your inspiration from. The hotness.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Kevin, the neighbor, in here? Ah, there you go.
Mijn vraag was, hoe bereik je het grote publiek als jonge producer?
Niet.
So, how do you, as a young producer, how do you think you can reach out to the bigger audience and make a successful song or production?
Well, first of all, you have to make sure that your production's getting played by the bigger DJs, of course. You know, they have like a big reach. They're playing the big shows, and at a point where you're not playing shows or playing any big shows, you really need those bigger guys. And it's still the same for us sometimes. You know, we still need like Hardwell, David Guetta, and Tiesto to play our songs as well. It's not that.
Do you think that's also the secret of the success of the Dutch DJs? Is that they are all supporting each other?
Definitely, yeah. We are all supporting each other, and I've really noticed in other countries there's so much competition going on between all the guys, and you know, that's a shame, because together you can bring so much more instead of competing with each other all the time. But to come back on your question specifically, just make, you know, music that's interesting and cool for DJs to play. And what I mean by that is like, try to make not the music they are already playing. You can you know, take a look at it and be like, okay, it's inspired to that kind of music, but it has to be new. You know, it has to, like, when we are downloading promos or demos or whatever, we are listening to a track, and sometimes in 3 seconds we know if the track is gonna fit in our set or in a radio show or not. So when it gets you, when there is something in there that's really amazing, like a kind of sound you use, like a kind of tool which works really well, or something completely out of the box, or something new for us, that's something really interesting, and that makes us like signing new guys to our label. That's making guys doing releases on our label, letting them play for shows like us, and that's a first entrance for a lot of young guys to get into the scene. And it was the same for us a few years back.
Yeah.
We were looking at the bigger DJs. Okay, what are they playing? Okay, let's try to make something like that, but also something that sounds really us. And which we did, and we did a lot of collaborations in the very first years of our career with like the biggest guys already. and it was all tactics. Everything we had a strategy for. You know, we knew some guys who didn't produce themselves, so we were like, hey, listen up. We made something really dope, and we are sure they want to play this. So let's hook them up and be like, hey, we can release this stuff together. So we had a big name attached to our own name, and that way made made us going to the top.
Yeah, so this is, what you're saying actually is a combination of tactical and making your own sound, and combine those two so that other DJs will pick it up, and so you're really a tactical releaser. All right, that's cool. I didn't know it. That's dope. Is Rubik's over here? We got a production question. Ruben, aka Rubik's, not here. He got a nickname, but he's not here. Let me see. We got some more questions. Pablo Gonzalez. Well, which are the best tips you ever got from other DJs? Do you have some, like a favorite one? That's hard.
That's a good question.
yeah, it's a good question.
Best tips.
Pablo,
best
well done.
Tips. Wow.
Yeah. Is it a little bit like the Ed Sheeran thing, like 10,000 hours, work hard, play hard?
I don't know. Honestly, like most of the times when we are with other artists, we are not really sharing tips and tricks.
No?
No,
Did you ever get advice from someone who is, already up there?
Yeah, but most of the times it's like financial advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Because if your finance is fucked,
Well,
you can't make any music.
It's more about like what kind of parties of bookkeepers or financial structures work best. That's the kind of stuff.
Well, I think that's really important as well as a DJ and producer. If you have to make a good team of people around you, that is definitely, I think, a good tip.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely people you can trust.
Yeah. You got some experience with that?
We got some experience with that, yeah.
Bad experiences.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. Yeah, so it's really important to get the right people in the right places.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I saw a question come by a lot of times. Blasterjaxx, the name. Where did it come from?
All right. This is the most original question for today.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? Well, when we were like some young kids, well, not that young, but like by the age of 20, and we were like dreaming of playing the big stages and playing that shows. Like back then, like one of the big examples for me was playing Sensation. I never played there, but still. That was really amazing, and I was just thinking like, okay, if we need a name for the act, I want it to be something powerful and something that really connects to the music we are making and the music we are feeling and achieving to make, because obviously back then the music was not on the level as where it is right now. So yeah, just we had a notebook for a week long when you're using the public transport because you're still in school. Like we wrote down names, like different names, and at the end of the week I was just checking out like 30, 40 names and just combining. I'm like, oh yeah, Blasterjaxx, yeah, sounds cool, okay.
Oh, it's almost about making a song. You have to combine this shit and then do what you like.
Yeah,
that's good. All right, cool. We got some more time for questions from the audience who didn't send one in. Is there anyone up there?
Hey guys, could you guys imagine being successful the way you are now in the dance music compared to if you guys did your own solo career?
The answer is no, because together it's the formula of Blasterjaxx, and for some reason that worked out, and that became successful. So without one of each other, like we are not Blasterjaxx. So no.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. Anyone else? Raise your hand. Yes.
I got a production question. What plugins do you use on the master chain?
Isotope.
Sorry.
yeah. Ozone Isotope. You can find it online. It's a really great master plugin, and it has like a lot of different abilities to completely enhance your master production. That's all we use, because when you put too much shit in it, like it's gonna sound overcompressed or too messy everywhere. And this plugin works really well for us.
Cool. Anyone else up there? Down there? Yeah.
So I came from France to see you now and to see you tonight. So do you have any ideas of what the public in France would think of you or like in life? What do you think they are capable of?
Oh, okay. He's from France, and you played a lot of in France. So,
Bonjour.
What do you guys think of the audience in France, and compare them to different countries, please?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. Well, we have played a lot in France in the beginning of our career. I think back then the big room sound there was bigger. As far as my knowledge is right now in France, they are more into the house scene and more of the bassy kind of stuff. So that doesn't really fit into our sound. And maybe overall in Europe right now the market is not as strong for big room EDM as it was a few years back. So that has everything together has to do with the fact that we're not playing in France that much. So hopefully this answers your question.
Do you have favorite countries which you play in? Which are
yeah, mostly like those are the countries you don't expect. Like I remember one time I had a show in Guatemala, expected completely nothing from it. And it came there, and from the moment where the intro started, and I played for 2.5 hours there, it was insane. Every track went nuts, no matter if it was like commercial or really underground, and that's really insane. Like the whole club was upside down, absolutely. So like countries like Guatemala, India as well, and I have noticed mostly the countries who are not that, how do you say, like that wealthy. They go the hardest when it comes to clubs and festivals.
Yeah, do you think that's because of the overcompensation of a lot of festivals in the countries where there's a bit more money?
That could be a very good reason. If you take a look at Holland, for example, like people here don't really go that nuts anymore. As
no, because of there are a lot of festivals in Holland, so yeah, maybe that has to do with the level of hard goings. All right, we have only several minutes left. If someone has a really urgent question, I see two. Well, we're gonna take two.
I see a question there on the left.
On the left? Oh, here. Hi, man.
Nee, met welke artiest zouden jullie nog graag een collab willen?
Ja, eigenlijk wel met heel veel artiesten, maar waar we echt graag een collab mee willen, ja, Daddy Yankee nog steeds.
The question was, which artist would you like to collab with? And the answer was Daddy Yankee. That's nice.
Hey guys, it seems like same question, but what do you think about produced new genres? For example, psytrance, dancehall music, and get out of the EDM music.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's fun to produce other genres as well, and it keeps us motivated and sharp, and it's a challenge for us, to do something different. But like we don't completely lose ourselves into another sound. Like if we do like something psytrance or something trap or something bass house, it will be 1 or 2 times, and after we go back to our own sound.
You also think it's important to, as a DJ, learn to play different genres, so that if you're in different audiences, you have to adapt?
Yeah, absolutely. Because imagine, I think in 10 years, like something what's now called big room won't be there anymore. So we have to go with the flow. We have to develop ourselves, not only because we want to be commercial, but also because we have a mortgage, and in 10 years we still want to have a job too.
Yeah, of course, it's still your job. All right, I got some question up here.
Hey guys, this is Ronnie. You guys play a lot of my stuff. Question: what is your favorite plugin and favorite track at the moment?
Favorite track at the moment?
Yeah.
Mi Gente, J Balvin, and no, I'm joking. That's a good question. Favorite track? Yeah, it's something not big room, so you guys probably don't know. It's a rock song. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite track. Sorry.
What's your all-time favorite track?
Gasolina.
Yeah, fucking love that. And your favorite plugin which you work with, Idir?
Nexus.
There we go. All right, I got one up there.
Hey guys, so I have some music supported by Showtech, Hardwell, and maybe I have some tracks for your label, but what would be the best way to come in contact with you guys?
Contact at blasterjaxx.com.
Yeah, you listen to them all?
Yeah, when they have something described like Maximize Records in the title of the email, yeah, we will definitely check it. Because like a lot of emails are coming in, and I think this is a great advice for all the guys out here. Like if you write an email, we don't need to know how old you are. We don't need to know where you're coming from, and what you know, that doesn't work for us. Like we just want to see like the name of the track, who else supported the song, and what the genre is, and from there it's really easy for us to come back.
Yeah, and how to contact. That's the email address. That's the last important thing. Anyone up here? A question? Down there, in the middle.
Sinds 2015 was er veel kritiek op de DJ Mag. Wat vonden jullie daarvan?
Oh, I'll translate it. There has been a lot of criticism about the DJ Mag Top 100, which is also going to be released during ADE. So what do you think of that?
Well, you know, when something becomes really popular, it will be more fun to give critique on something and to break it down in the end. So, what's my opinion? I don't care.
No.
Really, I mean, no.
You just...
Honestly, we have noticed that even though there's a lot of critic on the DJ Mag, Asia right now is a really, really big upcoming market, and that's definitely gonna overrule America from a few years back. I know, for example, the last half year, only 52 brand new clubs were built in China.
Yeah.
And we're talking about clubs that are like insane
crazy.
from the inside. Like there's put so much effort and money in there, and also those kind of clubs want to book DJs, and how it works in Asia and especially in China, like DJ Mag is a household brand there. So they love household brands, they love Starbucks, they love Coca-Cola. So DJ Mag is their thing to check when they want to book DJs.
So, yeah, it's a little bit about branding as well. Yeah, of course. Any more questions? To the right? Which is going to be one of the last.
Wat kunnen we volgend jaar van jullie verwachten?
So, what's up? That's a good closing question. What's up next year? What can we expect?
A baby.
A baby? Are you pregnant? Is your girlfriend pregnant? Oh, wow, nice for that. So how far is she coming? Yeah, how long till the baby? Oh, February. Oh, cool. Well, that's special. I think that is also gonna change your life in a different way. I want to thank you guys very, very much. Idir for your openness, Tom for your openness as well. You guys for your openness. Dames en heren, jongens en meisjes. Dit is het einde van de Q&A op Blasterjaxx. Mag ik nog even een groot applaus, Tom en Idir? Er is nog een moment om even met ze op de foto te gaan en om even nog even die vraag te stellen die je echt niet durfde te stellen voor het grote publiek. En dan gaan we over een minuutje of 10 verder met de spinning pool, hier aanwezig. Demo erop, maar we gaan het hebben over branding, social media en alles wat bij DJ'en en producer komt kijken. Dus ik hoop je over een kwartiertje te zien. 10 minuten.